Although Photoshop is created mainly for working with pixel images, there's still a couple of vector tools. And in this video, I'm just going to give you a couple of examples that can come up as questions in the exam about these tools. So first of all, whenever you draw with shape tools like the rectangle tool, there's an option here on the top called Align Edges, which can be turned on, and that will make sure that your fill color inside these shape layers will always be aligned to the pixel grid. But there's another very useful option in the Preferences, General, Snap Vector Tools and Transforms to Pixel Grid. So while that is turned on, it makes sure that whatever you do with the vector tools, it will be always aligned to the pixel grid. So let's just have a look at it. If I turn it off, and then I turn Align Edges off as well, then I will start to see anti-aliasing even on straight edges like these. If I have the Align Edges on, then my path might cross over several pixels, but it will still make sure that the fill color will follow the pixel grid. So I like to have the preference on called Snap Vector Tools and Transform to Pixel Grid, because then not only the fill color but also the path will be aligned to the pixel grid. For the type tool, we also have a couple of options which might come up in the exam. So let me show you some of these. First of all, let me create a paragraph text, and I'm going to set my text back to its default values by clicking on the drop-down menu or the panel menu and choose Reset Character. And then I'm going to choose one of the options which will fill in this paragraph text with just a dummy text. It's the Paste Lorem Ipsum option from the Type menu. So once we have this text here, I can increase its size using Command Shift and full stop. And when I'm ready with my text, I can press Command Return. There's a lot of keyboard shortcuts for editing text in Photoshop, which is again useful to look into. But what I wanted to show you that this paragraph text can be converted into a point type. Now, point type is when you just simply click and start typing. So in this case, whenever you create point type, there will be no automatic line break, and you won't be able to use justification, for example, on your text. But you can both turn this into a paragraph text or this paragraph text into a point type by right-click and choosing Convert to Point Text in this case. And then as you can see now, it's not a paragraph text anymore. Or we can turn this into a paragraph text by right-clicking on it and choose Convert to Paragraph Text. And if I click on it now, you can see it has actually a paragraph, so I can add automatic line breaks into it. If you want to use hyphenation in your text, that's something you will find under the paragraph panel. There's the hyphenate option. And if you want to turn your text into a vector shape, you can also do that by right-click and choosing Convert to Shape. So that means now this will be a vector shape, so it won't be editable anymore as text, but it will be editable as a vector shape. And let me just go back a couple of steps, because I would like to show you that you can also turn a horizontal text into a vertical text. So I'm just going to turn this text into a vertical text. Again, right click on it and switch to vertical. And then the text will be written like that. But of course, I can always change my paragraph, and then you can see it even better. And this one again can be switched back to horizontal. So it's completely non-destructive, these changes. And last but not least, you should also know how to use the pen tool. That's also a very important vector tool. And for this in the exam, usually they ask about the available options, which is shape, path, and pixels. And another thing that they usually ask about in the exam is the definitions of the path and the pen tool in general. Well, if you want to learn more about this, I explain everything in great detail in my Essential Skills for Designers Mastering the Pen Tool course. And having said that, that's all what you need to know about Photoshop tools. If you feel ready, you can take the test at the end of this section. And after that, you can carry on with the next topic called Creating and Working with Layers.